Be more grind, rise, shine through the struggle. Black dollar circulate, flexing muscle. Politics and biz building walls like bricks. Motown soul rap mixed in the fix. Shiny cover spitting truth, microphone holder. Past the noise scene, watch growth in the folder. Black biz bright spotlight in the dark. Hustling hard, lighting sparks in the park. Beam on new, we'll be breaking glass ceilings. All black every day, income healing. Doni Glover, flip the script. Let's go, Black Wall Street roadmap, be more flow. Real talk, stock rise, dreams ain't looking hollow. Blueprints, handshakes, enemies wallow. Baltimore kings, queens crown on the throne. Legacy built, stone by stone. Headlines, deadlines, moves in the background. Politics, money clips, elevate the town. Black beard strategists, wealth can't be missed. Twist the plot, make the whole world twist. Be more news, success we inhaling. Victories, IRS, no detailing. Doni Glover, rise to shine, let's glow. Focused on
GDP is $23 trillion. 23
Be more grind, rise, shine through the struggle. Black dollar circulate, flexing muscle. Politics and biz building walls like bricks. Spitting truth, microphone holder. Past the noise scene, watch growth in the.
All right. We got Renny Bass on the line, got Sean Gardner on the line. Top of the day to you, gentlemen.
Assalamu alaikum. Top of the day to you, my brother.
Good morning, bro.
Assalamu alaikum, Sean. Good morning, Mr. Glover. How you feeling?
What's going on with y'all this morning?
Man, I'm glad to be in the land of the living. I woke up, I'm winning.
La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah.
So, Renny, set the stage for us.
Well, we back on this series, man, of behind the wall mentoring, and again, we thank you for the platform to have this discussion and showcase what the brother Sean Gardner and his descendants, I like to call them, because the people that he has influenced, who's out on the street behind the wall, people he influenced behind the wall, who's on the street now influencing people beyond the walls. So I just give thanks for the opportunity for him to tell his story and the young brothers to tell their story. It's very important that we understand that once you go behind the wall, it's not over. And a lot of times, family and friends think that it's over. It's not. You know what I'm saying? And for Sean, as you can see, it was the beginning. And he did a lot, man, in the 23 years, 24 years since he's been incarcerated. And I every chance I get to shout him out and tell him how proud I am of him, I take that opportunity to tell him, because it's easy to sit back in your cell. You know, I've been there. It's easy to sit back in your cell and don't do nothing and pout. But to influence other people to do the right thing and then come home and they influence other people to do the right thing, that's the connection to change. That's the change we need. That's that pipeline from the schools to the prison pipeline that we need to cut. You know, so I think that the brother should be recognized, and I'm so glad he's getting that presidential award, that the White House has recognized what he's done. So that's very important, man. And, you know, we should shout that out. We should celebrate that.
Sean, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
A lot of times I hear people say, not everybody is made for college. Now, before I pose that question, Sean, I got to share this. There was a time in our people's history when learning to read was a crime, punishable, sometimes by death.
Right.
The first thing that I've seen happen, particularly for 14 to 17-year-olds, when they get locked up, they go over the bookings, they make them go to class. I see cats riding dirt bikes, one-handed, up the avenue, navigating traffic. Don't hit nothing. When you hear people say not everybody is made for college, now I'm saying, okay, all right. No, I don't expect everybody to be a doctor. But are we setting ourselves up for failure? Are we accepting less than? Do you believe that? Do you believe that not everybody's made for college, or you think more people can actually make it to college?
I think everybody not really built for college, but everybody have a gift in something. So if you have that's a gift you got right there. Like everybody can't do that. That's a gift. So it's just about using your gift properly. Like he can teach classes on how to ride a dirt bike one hand. So it's just whatever lane you in, whatever gift you got, it's up to you to take it to another level and be able to influence people and get people to do it, to follow you, and you can turn it to a business. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Like whatever your gift is, whatever your God-given gift is, you can make that your career. So you don't have to have a career as a doctor, like you said, or any other lawyer. But your gift is a career for you. You just got to be able to put the pieces together where you can monetize.
Well, what about this, Sean? This is a day and time where now I'll be 60. I'm up there with Renny. But if you were smart in school, is it okay to be smart in schools? You got some kids who are really smart, but they want to be accepted by a certain clique. I saw it up Lamel. People would deliberately get deficiencies so that they could say in a certain group, yeah, I got 4 deficiencies. Oh, I got 5. Like that was the competition, like some reverse competition. Well, being smart is like a crime, like a sin.
It's like how they say, man, when keeping it real goes wrong, man. You think that's being real, but actually, you holding yourself back.
You know what I was?
Just like the streets. It's no different than the streets. Everybody thought getting in the streets was the way to go. Fast money, get in there, do your thing. Don't go to school, drop out. Go to school for half a day, leave out. It's the same thing. Because everybody doing something cool, so they thinking that's cool, but it ain't cool for real.
You know what I tell the youngins, Donnie?
What's that?
Is that being smart and being cool and being smart will put you with the females. You know, if you smart in school, they align you with the smart other people. The other people are females. So I would tell the youngins, man, you know, get good grades because you will be aligned with the females. You have opportunity to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? Differently than the cool dudes just getting the D's on their credit on their report card just because. But that's something that's very unique that you said. Something interesting that you said it has to be addressed because being cool and being smart are kind of separated. We got to bring them back together. And you know what I'm saying? It's like the generations before the generation had to make that statement and make that commitment. to let kids know that being smart is being cool. Because you fast forward their life for them. Show them that life fast forward. Here go the guy who was smart in school. Look at his lifestyle. Here go the guy who was dropping out of school. Look at his lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It's a comparison. There's definitely data out there to show you, you know, what's what. So it's really just connecting the dots and just showing the youngins, you know, what it is that they're losing and what it is that they gain. And the short-term gain is a long-term loss. We're just disseminating that information.
How about you, Jihad? You got some thoughts on it? Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, good brothers. Sorry for just joining in. I had a little malfunction with my phone. Well, that's one thing that we have to be more transparent with. I know I heard from our couple podcasts where people, our youth today, look at things differently as far as being cool and acceptable. We just got to figure out a better way so we can change that trend to be able to reach the youth to understand, like, cool is what's happening. Cool gonna keep you in the streets. Cool gonna make you be able to do things that others can't do, you know? I think that because it's been so long of a bridge between the adults and the youth, a lot of the older, they have given up trying to like guide or even help or give advice, because it's like the youth think it's cool to be disrespectful, to disrespect elderly, you know? So we got to figure out how we can reverse that path, that path to thrive, to learn, to thrive, to be better. You know? I think that's going to be the challenging thing, because it's been a gap so long that people lost interest. The youth lost interest in the elderly because they look at, what you was doing back then, that ain't working now. But it is working. It's working in a better form, because the unity and loyalty and respect that never was lost. The individuals that are doing it, they lost. No, so I think that's our biggest challenge of trying to change the perception of our youth as well as our elderly. The communication is the problem, because you can't understand if you ain't able to communicate.
Renny?
Yeah, Donnie, I got a question for you. What do you think what do you think let me get this question right. How do you think that people, like you said, back in the day, it used to be a crime to learn to read and write? Mm-hmm. How do you think the people in the past, our ancestors, overcame that and was able to learn to write and read and then go to colleges, build colleges, the whole nine yards? You know, the black history, not that we're going to find it in the history books, but you understand what I'm saying. How do you think that they got to the point where they said, well, you know, we're going to risk going to jail, risk getting killed to learn? What was the message? How did they get that message disseminated?
So do you mean during slavery?
During slavery, yes.
I think they had a hunger. First of all, you got somebody calling you out your name all day.
Mm-hmm. Right. Same thing in the streets. It ain't no by name. It's dummy and you know, and all type of derogatory statements.
So now we call ourselves that. Back in our generation, if you called a female a B at 3 o'clock, if not sooner, go ahead and throw your hands up. Mm-hmm. You're going to fight somebody. Somebody's coming to defend her honor.
Absolutely.
But now sisters call themselves B's.
Absolutely.
That's what I was saying. So how do we get back to the point where our ancestors was at and they were able to get a message out, and they ain't have social media. They didn't have cell phones in their pockets. Everybody had a cell phone in their pocket. How were they able to get the message out that you know, the reading was important and we need to read? And you know, I know you noticed my change in positions, man. My sciatic nerve kicked in, so I had to change my position.
You're not gonna like the answer.
I'm sure I don't, but I want to hear it.
We grew up in a generation where your mother told you the stove is hot. Don't touch it. Stove is hot. Don't touch it. Renny, don't touch it. Jihad, don't touch it. Sean, don't touch it. It's hot. But we didn't learn. We didn't learn that way. We touched that stove. Hot. Yes. Hot. Right. Now, we also grew up in a generation where either your mother, your father, or both, when you broke the rules in the house, and God forbid, grandma, somebody tell you go out back and bring me back a switch. Mm-hmm. And then some people were so scared that just the sight of the switch would correct them. But then we got to this thing about Dr. Spock. And said, Jihad, go stand in the corner. Time out, Jihad. They took prayer out the schools. Mm-hmm. Some white lady got the law changed that you can't pray in school. So now you got people who can't raise their own children telling you how to raise yours. So kids got the ability to call the police on their own mother. Now, I would doubt if you could call the police on Rennie's mom or my mother or your mother, Sean, Jihad. But that's the entitlement mentality that happens today. So long story short, spank that ass. Because if I don't put the fear of God in my child, I leave it for law enforcement. So I don't think you're going to like my answer. Spank your children.
Yeah, I love your answer.
And you're not your kid's friend. They shouldn't be calling you by your first name. And with 70% single mother households, a lot of women in particular had no respect for their own fathers.
Or men in general.
Or men in general.
I was talking to some youth last week, man, and the youth told me, he was like, he told me, he said, Pop, you safe. I said, what you mean? He said, you safe. And I said, explain that to me. He said, you came up in the era where you got taught the right things. And your kids are adults now. So your kids are making decisions now. And he said, you're safe. He said, your kids are not safe. He said, because they're making decisions impacting the next generation, and their decisions aren't being made from what you taught them. It's being made from what they've learned in the world. And I said, you know, when you, and he explained it to me, man, the young brother was well versed. He had a lot of stuff wrong, but he had a lot of stuff right. So you grew up on the block, a couple blocks, where you had friends on a couple blocks, maybe a neighborhood. He said, now we got friends all over the world. We got influence all over the world from our phones. And he was like, man, y'all dropped the ball by giving us too much information too fast. Y'all ain't had that information. Y'all had to look up encyclopedias. And I said, where you get this knowledge from? He said, I talked to my grandmother. He said, my grandmother put me on. He said, it's the fathers of today right now, in their 30s, in their 40s, in their 20s, that's making the decisions that's impacting the younger generation, and they not prepared, they not ready to make these decisions. Either they don't want to, or they're not capable of it.
Sean, any thoughts?
Huh?
I was asking Sean if he had any thoughts.
said, yeah, I like what he spoke on about like the youth. Definitely, they got so much information, and it's so fast to them. They can go. There's no telling which way they might go. Like we only had like one way to go, like the street, and now the youth today they go a million different other ways. Messing with the internet. So they can get into this, they can get into that, they can get into this, film. So ain't no telling where the road's gonna lead. We only had 2 folks. They got 1 million folks in the road. They on the highway. We just on the road. We even go left or right. They can go, like I said, 1 million different ways. Like you said, too much. They got the information too fast. They have like anything in the phones. YouTube, all YouTube videos. They doing discount challenge, sugar challenges, all kinds of stuff. You got to tell your kids, man, look, don't pay that no mind. Don't pay that no mind. You got to be on it.
Sean, we grew up, there was 3 colored tennis shoes, blue, black, and white. Charlie Rudo's, blue, black, and white.
Right.
Now we got 1,000 colors to choose from. We done lost our damn mind. You hope to get some Jack Purcells. That might be too old. That too old for you, Sean?
Yeah, that's too old.
You go up Charlie Rudo's, it was 3 colors. That was it. Now you go in, it's 1,000 colors.
You know what I noticed, Donnie, that with all of the resources and avenues youth have, they don't have no guidance or structure with all of that. You know, they send, like, we didn't have all that, but we had structure. We had elderly that would give us advice towards what we see or what we hear. Nowadays, you got youth that's opening up all these different social medias and they seeing so much, they just fall right into it without a harness, a backpack, or somebody to tell them any advice. So that make it even worse than a kid coming out of a household without a mother and a father, or whichever parent that he doesn't have. Now he got 10,000 other resources to mislead him.
How about this, Sean? There was a time I would not advise our people to go into the military. But when you look at Baltimore, you look at Chicago, our youth might have a better chance in the military than on these streets. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Definitely the military office, like they say, Chirac. Like it's definitely the military. They got their hands on them hostile weapons. So, I mean, you going legit. It's all about being legit. You feel me? You like to play. If that's what you like, if that's what you into from watching video games, do it the right way. Go to the army. Don't subject yourself to doing life in prison, or even worse, death penalty or something. It's all about doing things right. If you can't do things right, what's the point? Like I was saying, smart is the new rich. Once we get that to their mind, like smart is the new rich, man. If you make a smart decision, you rich.
Sean, why aren't we more grateful for what we have?
One, we alive, and 2, it's a thinking man game. If you're able to think, you're good. It ain't all about physical no more. I learned that when I first came to prison. It's a thinking man game, man. It's easy to get physical and do things of that nature. But if you can't think for yourself and stand on your own 2 feet, you lost. So that's why I surround myself, and that's why the BTW mentors, they all think. And That's what we try to get you to realize. But you can think for yourself, make your own decision. That's the right decision. Man, the world is yours.
Renny, how do we get back to reading books, man?
It's called parenting. It's called parenting. Like you said, it's not friending. It's called parenting. And, you understanding that, you have a duty. The title, mother, father, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, they titles that come from God. And they come with responsibilities. And if you don't take them responsibilities serious, you're going to see that in your family.
No, check this out, Renny. We know where Foot Locker and Downtown Locker Room is, but how many of us know where everyone's place is?
Well, the thing is that it go back to parenting, Donnie. It go back to education. If you're not educated in the household, I had to navigate 11 personalities before I hit the streets. It was 11 different people that I had to navigate their personalities, and each one of them had a message for me about the streets and about education. And if you're not getting that in your household, man, you know what I'm saying? It's got to be you coming out the door, and the streets are unforgiving. The streets are unforgiving. The streets are not going to teach you nothing but what they need you to do for them. And a lot of times, parents don't understand this. It's like they chasing the bag. They chasing the bag. I get the money. Dudes just stepped off. The cats just stepped off. They ain't know what they're supposed to do. They leave mommy to take care of everything. And mommy is trying to get the bag. And she's chasing the bag. And what she don't understand, that sacrifice is a lack of parenting for the kids. And then you give them everything they want, but you don't give them nothing that they need.
Jihad, they got a new dance out called Boots on the Ground. They even got preachers doing it. Can we get boots on the ground at the library? That's all I want to know. Because we are quick to start a new dance. Can we go and boots on the ground to the damn public library?
I think we had to change the concept of it, because when we said guys like us, boots on the ground, that's us putting our time, energy, and effort with our feet moving constantly. When people hear that, the youth hear it, they think everything is a dance. You know what I'm saying? They dance so much they lost focus. Even our youth, even younger than that, the infants know all the latest dance, but can't tell you where they live, can't spell their name out, But we put emphasis on the fact that I remember at one time when Kurt Smoke was the man, this was the city that read. And we had Mondawmin as one of the grossest malls in the nation, but didn't have a bookstore in it when this was the city that read. So if we can get back to having people, not just youths, not just the elderly, we got to get people back to gravitating to wanting to read, wanting to understand more, wanting to learn more, because they think being dumb is cool. You see, they call each other that. They address each other by that. When we was young, if you called me other than what my name was, we had a problem. These kids today, they thrive off that. Calling each other out of their name, belittling each other, and not even really understanding that that's what they doing.
Come here, dummy.
Exactly. They said to the girls, they don't got no pics on it. You can be old, you can be young. That's their language. That's their lingo. Hey, dummy, what?
Hey, I got a thought, Donnie. Put the DJ in the library.
That will work.
Hold a day party in the library.
Yeah. or do a tour bus where they got books on it instead of all the other accessories. Things of that magnitude. Once they see, being as though Baltimore is a trend town, once they see it being set, then they're going to follow suit. The more they do it, the more gravitate to it. We
You
just
get
got.
Terry T to throw one of them big parties, and the way you got to get in is read the book first.
Yeah, you gotta make a challenge, man. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
30 seconds remaining.
Because
You read 100 books, you get a certificate and all that.
yeah.
You gotta do something like that, man. It gotta be a sentence.
He makes a great point. Maybe we need when we do these youth awards, we need an award for who's read the most books.
Exactly.
Absolutely. There you go. And we can, we can do the Black Wall Street at the Cultural Arts Center where we have a reading book session.
Yeah. I would love to be a part of something like that.
When I travel, man, I'm driving alone. I put on my ebooks and I listen to books as I'm reading. As I'm driving. And it's like whatever it takes to get the knowledge. We got to think outside of the box, though, because we recognizing what we're doing now is not working. So we got to figure out a different system in a different way.
Jihad, 70% of our families are fatherless.
That's a outrageous number.
There was a time we used to be the most married community in America. The 1940s, 1950s, grandma and grandpa was married 50, 60 years. I ain't saying it was perfect, but we were the most married. Then they bring in the heroin, they bring in the cocaine, bring in the Ready Rock, got liquor stores on every corner, and they got preachers on every corner.
And they also promote the black woman. They advance the black woman.
So the black woman making more money and she come home with a penis.
Absolutely. Yeah, it used to be a need for marriage. It used to be a need for marriage. It was one income. So it was like you come together and you build something. Now there's no need for it. The women make just as much money as the men. The women don't need the men don't need the women as they think. But God is the best of knowers and the best of planners, and he gave you the guidelines of how it's supposed to be. And we're living outside of the guidelines. It's an I, me type of situation. The we is gone. It's all about I now and me. If you listen to people's conversation, you have conversations with them, take a note of how many times they say I and me in the conversation. The we is over with. The village is done. Now it's about shine, who got the biggest bag and who got the biggest the nicest shoes.
Jihad, we buying designer handbags from designers that hate us. Everybody want to go to Dubai, even though they just ended slavery in 1971. And then we get there, we get to Dubai, and don't even know the rules, and end up getting locked up. Welcome back, Sean.
You know what's the sad part of that, Donnie? It's like we chase the trends, but we chase the wrong trends. We look for the unity in people, but don't understand what the word unity means. It's sad because it's like we as black men try to unify with our sisters, our families, but because of so much damage that males previous or future has done, it's like the women lost respect, lost hope, lost guidance. And when you look around, we don't have too many of our kind that's willing to be on the forefront without straddling the fence, So if you half and half, a woman gonna look at you as not even being partially whole, because you showing so many sides. She don't know what to trust. She been misled for so many years. So it's like, how can I put trust into that? Which has
Sean, we were
bounced
talking
it.
about 70% of our families are headed by women. How can we correct that?
It's very simple. The men need to step up and do their part. It's very simple. The men need to step up. The men have stepped away. You know, a lot of men are cowards, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The pressure of life, send them to the bottle, send them to the street, send them to standing on the corner all day long, hanging out with dudes where it's comfortable at. What we have to do is, and I speak about this all the time, we can't let dudes be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Cats can't be comfortable around me. I know you ain't taking care of your kids. You can't be comfortable around me. You can't be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? You come to the barbershop where I'm at, you talking that trash, I'm going to confront you. Wherever I see that conversation, hear that conversation, I'm going to confront it.
Shar, you want to say something?
Right, I definitely feel you on, like, you ain't taking care of your kids, you ain't got a relationship with your kids. I expect to trust you to be loyal to me. You ain't loyal to your kids, so like, yeah, I definitely don't want nobody like that in my circle.
But then too, you got a more aggressive female out here, Sean. They call them alpha females. They're making more money and they want to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Do it.
Because like Jahan said, they've been through so much. You feel you can't even blame them. Like they got their guards up. But it takes a real man, stand up guy, feel me, just to talk to him and be with him, just like, man, you ain't gotta be like that with me. Cause I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
I guess once that trust is broken, it's hard to regain it.
Not only that, Donnie, but some women feel very adamant about, I don't need a man. And they'd be proud to say that. Until you face with a situation where your son or your young male that's in the house wants to dominate the house. Now I need a man to teach him. Now I need a man to discipline him.
It's too late.
He a grown man. Now he done went from being your peers to now he's trying to tell you what to do. Instead of, we need more parenting skills to be taught as well too. Because we got a lot of youths that don't understand. They'd rather go out in the streets than be in the house teaching your kid how to be safe in society or how to progress in society.
You know, Sean, my father said, I brought you in this world and I will take you out. That's what they told me, Sean. I brought you in this world and I will take you out. And I believed him. I said, this man crazy. I had an uncle work down Jessup Cut. I'm 9 years old, Sean. He said, don't come down here because ain't nothing I can do for you. I'm like, I'm in elementary school. They was dropping seeds early. Don't come down here. Ain't nothing I can do for you. I ain't locked up. What I do?
Mm-hmm. Right. Hey, Donnie, I'm gonna tell you what I told my little nephew, Shy. It's your head, son. He's the baby, right? I've been locked up since he was a baby. So he's like, what's going on there, Uncle Boo? I'm like, man, there's monsters in here, man. You don't want to come in here, it's monsters. So I was just telling him because he was like probably like 4 or 5. Why would he get like 10? He was like, you told me it was monsters in there? I was tripped. I was like, Dad, you remember that, huh?
So the key to that, you got to start with that seat at a young age. You got to. You can't give up. You can't slack. You know, we don't have that village like when we were young. So now we got to create the village.
I have to speak on this, though, man. I have to speak on this. You know, in our communities, we are confused because we'll have a dude going to college and 5 people will come to his party to go to college and launch him on his way. We have a dude going to prison and we have the house full of people coming over because this guy's going to prison. And then the guy coming home from prison, we'll have a big celebration with this guy coming home from prison where the guy who graduated from college is standing there and nobody even recognized him for being graduating from college. It's a distorted value system that we have in our community that we need to everybody need to look inside themselves and ask us what the hell is wrong with us when we think it's okay to celebrate a brother going back and forth to prison, but not to college. That's something that needs to be checked, and we need to check ourselves.
Or we have a $20,000 wedding to move into an apartment.
Right, exactly.
Our values is distorted.
Why not put five of that 20 on a house?
Right. And then you have a $20,000 wedding that lasts for 2 years, and then somebody go to courthouse, take that $20,000 and buy a house, and that wedding lasts for 25 years. I mean, it's really just about consciously thinking, man. You know what I'm saying? Every day we do a lot of stupid stuff in our community that we call culture
or progression.
Sean, our grandparents may not have had a PhD, but they had common sense.
Mm-hmm. Common sense, boy. That's priceless right there. That common sense. Like, it go a long way because a lot of people street smart, a lot of people got book smart, but they common sense, they take you to the moon, man.
Then, Sean, they got cancerous products in about every damn thing we eat. I've been hearing a lot of stories about black men catching cancer in the institutions.
Yeah, you just told me that it's great. You said that. You just came to me this morning, like 8 o'clock, like, man, it hit me with a big dude just now. He was going back and forth to John Hopkins, say, man, I got cancer, man. He say, man, you need to let your sons know because it's real hygiene, they can get it. I said, man, just told him, I want them to come, man. They prayed up, man.
Also,
he been locked up for 20 years, so.
Yeah. Garlic, onions, ginger. We got to get back to them natural things that our grandparents put us on to. Oh, no, I don't eat that. I don't eat collard greens.
Mm-hmm.
No, I eat Cheetos and now laters.
And Takis and all that.
That raw ginger, man, you boil it up, slice it up, put some lemon and some honey. Throw some habanero peppers in there.
Or some cayenne pepper.
Now that you say that, Doni, now that you say that, like, that is like a lead to, like, with BTW mentors. We got this youth function coming up. It's Behind the Wall Mentors, Words of Real. It's like, that's what we got to get back to. Giving them straight words of realness. So, the BTW mentors, we put together a forum where some of the Beyond the Wall mentors, we want to challenge the teachers, youth football coaches, basketball, PRP programs. We're trying to challenge them to bring, it's a free event to come out so the youth can hear some common sense about the words of realness and consequences of their acts if they don't change their life, if they want to go down the wrong path, or whatever, like whatever they want to do. And we got information forms to take up trade, job opportunities, like whatever they trying to excel in. We have more information for y'all next week, and if anybody's trying to participate in it and bring some youth to the function, they can hit us up at BTW Mentors on Instagram or Facebook.
BTW Mentors on Instagram.
Right. Or you can email us at btwmentors@gmail.com. If any teachers out there want to be a part of bringing the youth out, like any youth that you think that might need to hear these words of realness, some guys that really went through the struggle and changed their life around, just trying to make a difference in the community. So we have a forum for that now. So that way, like we talking now on your broadcast, but now we need to take it to another stage where we can have it videoed and we can get it out to the mass.
And this is BTW Mentors on Instagram. Okay.
So you know any teachers that can bring like 20 kids? We try and get like a 100, 200 kids to come in. We're gonna have food there for them. It's gonna be raffle prizes. It's gonna be a nice experience for the youth to really sit down, and we're gonna take questions from the youth because we need to know what they think. We know what we saying they should do, but we need to know how they feel and what they gonna do and what we can do to help them. So that's why we having this forum.
Renny, tell us why we're doing this. This is the third show in a series. Why are we doing this series?
Because we are highlighting behind the wall mentoring and beyond the wall mentoring. This is these are some serious entities that's happening, and we want people to understand that, you know, if you got kids that need mentoring, and if you got kids that don't need mentoring, that's doing well in school, that's doing well in their life, bring them out. Let us help them to do better. Because a lot of times the squeaky wheel gets the oil, but the other tires are on the wheel on the car too. And we need to pay attention to them. And a lot of times we don't. We only pay attention to the problem child. So the child that's doing well has to get in trouble just to get some attention. So we need to reach out to them children that's doing well as well, and make sure that they're that their needs are being met and they're being heard. And I just want to reiterate, if you're putting your corporation or your boss title over the title that God gave you, that is the upsetting in our community. That's why our community is upset. That's why it's upside down, because you're chasing titles as supervisors, managers, doctors, lawyers, as opposed to perfecting the title that God gave you. Even if you're a brother or a cousin, you have a duty in the household and the family. So you have to perfect those roles. And we have to get back to perfecting them roles, aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, mothers, fathers. These are the roles that we need to perfect, and these are the roles that we need to try to get promotions on. And we need to get back to that. Sure, it's okay to be a supervisor and try to chase their bag, but if you have kids, the parenting to them kids is more important than the what you can buy for them.
Renny, you make parenting look easy. You ain't have no challenges being no daddy.
Well, I did. I had a lot of challenges, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I looked into my son's eyes the first time, I walked away from what I was doing. I just walked away from it. And brothers told me that you ain't gonna last, they're gonna get you for that. You can't walk away. I said, I can and I will, and I did. So give thanks that, that was it. But the challenging came because the street was calling me, man. The streets had my number. Every phone I got, the streets had. I give her the phone and never get another phone number. The streets had it. It was calling. You know what I'm saying? And if he is, it's just not the answer, man. Understand. Just don't answer the streets. When they call, you don't answer because they can talk you into coming out. So I stopped answering my phone, and I started paying attention to what was important to me as a father, as a son, as a brother, as an uncle, as a nephew. Whatever my title was and the position I was in, I started strengthening them relationships, and my life turned around, and my kids' life turned around because they.
How does it feel to take your child to another country?
Oh, it feels great. I mean, I've done it several times, and so have you, Doni. It's a great experience, man, because we are experiencing things and cultures together, and we're moving forward together and experiencing knowledge that we can come back with. I know I come back at 60 years old. I come back with knowledge. Well, at 58 years old, let me slow down. At 58 years old, I come back with knowledge, but I can't imagine what the knowledge they come back with in their 30s, because they can do something with the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? They can take that knowledge and they can build off it. They can do something with it. I'm just, at this junction in my life, I'm just experiencing it, just the experience. But when I was in my 30s, I was able to do something with it. I was able to go visit different countries and come back. I never traveled and did nothing out of the country with my parents. I never did that. I never had the opportunity to experience that. But with my kids, it's a beautiful thing. Me and my son got something. We got something. He told me for my 60th birthday, he gonna plan that. And we're going to go to Switzerland. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So God has been good to me, man. And I say, I'm sorry, go.
No, I would say that was great. It was great. I salute
Absolutely. God has been great to me, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and I say that my life changed for the better when I understood my roles and them titles that God gave me. Father, son, brother, uncle, aunt, uncle, cousin. You know, when I understood them roles and I perfected them roles, I got blessed.
Sean, what you think about grace and mercy? They say grace is getting what we don't deserve. Mercy is not getting what we do deserve. Do you subscribe to that?
That's kind of hard for me. I'm not even I haven't even thought about like grace and mercy for real, but I just think, you feel me? I think God, that's all God's work. So that's why I'm like, God either gonna give you mercy or He's gonna give you grace. So I never thought about it. I just prayed that, you feel me?
You ever thought that God saved your life, Sean?
Yeah, He definitely saved my life. Like, I might be in a messed up situation, but I was able to evolve, and I was able to have people evolve along with me. So maybe this was my gift to be able to help somebody. I had to go through the struggles to be able to help somebody. So he had this plan. I can't say what he had for me and what he wanted me to do. And I'm still here.
Sean, I remember it like yesterday. I was about 11 years old on Baker Street. It had just snowed. And I was caught myself jumping on the back of a flatbed, tractor trailer coming through Baker Street, right in between Moreland and Warwick. And I was sliding on the back of it. And in one instant, I damn near fell under that wheel. And it was like the hand of God snatched me out, and I never did that no more.
You know, it's crazy because I had a little nephew. He was up like Park Heights in the back of like Norman with them dump trucks at.
Yeah.
He called himself riding on one of them trucks and fell under the joint, man. That's crazy. He passed and died. The wheel ran over. My little nephew, man, little Carl, man. Hey.
I know it could have been my time, but I got spared.
Yeah.
Well, Renny, what you think? Think we brought home a message today?
Absolutely. I definitely think we brought home a message. I think the message was clear. I think that, you know, people understand what behind the wall mentoring has implemented now, what beyond the wall mentoring.
Come on, Jihad, take us home.
As always, Donnie, you did a wonderful job.
We did.
Okay, let me reiterate that. We did a wonderful job with the help of you spearheading it. You know, I like I said, I appreciate everything you allow us to do with your platform, to not only spread our word, but the message through my brother. Like I really, really appreciate you as a man and as a individual that is helping in the community, you know, because we have individuals that speak about it, they help within their own realms, but you go outside of that, you know, on numerous occasions. And
well, let me tell you something you don't know, Jihad. Renny done promised some chicken fricassee that if we do this 4-week series, so one, there's a carrot at the end of this. Did you know that Renny is a chef?
absolutely.
All right, so one is some chicken fricassee, and then the other thing is he know where I live at. So
We'll be past that soon.
yeah, you know, I'm kind of the pinch.
After Ramadan, we be past that and make you something pretty nice.
Yeah, well, I'd rather bring me some chicken fricassee and then be outside waiting for that back.
What is that? Some chicken fricassee?
Yeah, the chicken fricassee. When I heard Renny talk about chicken fricassee and and he's a chef. I'm like, okay, here we go. But
Hey,
he
my
was in the
nephew say-
kitchen burning.
My nephew say, whatever it is, it's good. He say, don't tell me nothing. Just give it to me.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we can, if we follow the leader, you know what I'm saying? The leader gave us instructions of what to do. God is the leader. He give us instructions what to do. He give it to us daily. You know what I'm saying? We gotta continue to push forward, man. Our youth are dependent on us. Our youth are dependent on us to do the right thing.
And you know what else, Jihad? When Renny
Yes,
go
sir.
to break bread, you think he got all of this great food out there. You just know you're going to get one of them long Christian prayers. In the name of Jesus, God bless this food. Bless the hands that prepared it. Oh, thank you, Lord. And
Not
Renny
in the
just
hands,
hits you up.
not in the name of Jesus.
Bismillah.
Muhammad Rasulullah.
Bismillah, we breaking bread.
Alhamdulillah.
Bismillah,
Sean,
right? We breaking bread.
Sean is on the line. Sean, give us the final word before we end today's show.
Man, the final word, man, everybody just be great, you great, and excel in life, man. Anything you do, man, do it to the fullest. And if you ain't found your gift yet, man, search your soul, find your gift, man, and make the best of everything, every day that God gives you.
One Bible verse says that your gift will make room for you. I can tell you, Sean, that as I was getting through that rock, dope, and coke, chasing all of it that was up and down Baltimore, Atlanta, DC, New York, I started writing. I found myself writing all night. And some people say, dance my pain away. I wrote my pain away. And now I got 3 books.
Yeah, that's how, hey, I use that same method. Writing is therapeutic. That's why I got all the books. That's what got me through. Writing is therapeutic, man. That's another gem for y'all. You going through something, man, write it down, man. There ain't no telling where it could take you. Somebody might want to hear your story. That's how you uplift other people.
Sean, why do you care about uplifting somebody else?
Because basically, my lifestyle, everything was like I put people in the game. You feel me? I was destroying people's lives. His mother don't like me. People are like, man, Sean brought you into that lifestyle, so I know I gotta give back. You know what I mean? Like I'm part of it, for real. I'm part of destroying the community. Just by introducing people. I ain't telling I'm not telling the youngest boy, go ahead, man, go to school. I'm like, boy, come on with me. So now I gotta tell the youth, I believe that's my responsibility to tell the youth, man, don't mess with the street, man. Take it from me. You will be a genius to learn from others' mistakes.
Hey, Donnie, I'll leave you with this. We know of people who lived 2,000 years ago, or 1,000 years ago. We know that through records and history. We don't know nobody that's 1,000 years old. So we're going to be with God much longer. We're going to be in this dunya. We better understand that this is only a temporary stop. Your next stop is permanent. Don't let the temporary stop destroy your permanent stop.
Jihad.
I just want to curtail off for that. Yeah, you basically your decision making and making mistakes. That's the part of progression. You know, a lot of times we think that because we make a wrong decision or bad decision or something stagnate us in our life, that we can't bounce back from that, or we get dumbfounded, whereas though we lose our focus to think that we can continue on. You know, just like when we lost our parents or grandparents or things like that, that was inspirational in our life. and we be still having that thought, oh, I know she's looking over me. We gotta still have that same, everything that I do, every move that I make, every word that come out my mouth has to be productive. You know, if we have that in our heart, it'd be easily to show through our actions.
That'll be the final word. Gentlemen, we will see you next week, Thursday at 9 a.m.
God willing, Kioba strong.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you for joining us, Sean. Good morning, world.